wander around with what I'm saying. But it's so glad to see you. I'm so glad. It's such a nice night. I could use with a little less of God's breath in my face, but it's better than being 99 with no breeze at all. So it's a nice cooling breeze. So if you see one of our members running after a piece of paper going that way, that's because the music's loud. And if you see me looking like I'm not hearing anything, it's because the wind is hitting my hearing aids and I can't hear anything. So we're going to start our program like we do every week. As you are able, will you please stand for the national anthem? Okay, tonight's concert is basically a concert of rock and roll, all the way from doo-wop in the early 1960s up to big hair rock of the 80s. I think we even have something from the 90s. We don't have anything that's very much later than that because I'm old. And the music we have is old. But we'll enjoy tonight's rock concert. Baby Blue is a song by the Welsh rock band Badfinger from their 1971 album, Straight Up. The song was written by Pete Ham, produced by Todd Rundgren, and released on Apple Records. In 2013, the song was prominently featured in the closing moments of the final episode of the American crime drama series Breaking Bad. Ham wrote the song about a woman named Dixie Armstrong, who he had dated during Badfinger's last U.S. tour. Guitarist Joey Mullen recalled, she came to one of our shows, they got to talking, and Pete really liked her. I don't know whether they fell in love straight away, but he invited her on the road with us, and she came along. Ham ultimately ended the relationship because of Armstrong's lack of interest in Badfinger's recording and tour activities. So I hope you enjoy my arrangement of Badfinger. Baby Blue. Bye, baby. Okay, don't slow down. Don't slow down. into our first march of the evening. National Emblem March is a U.S. march composed in 1902 and published in 1906 by Edwin Eugene Bagley, E.E. Bagley. It is a standard of the U.S. march repertoire. The U.S. military uses the trio section of this march as ceremonial music for the entry of the ceremony's official party. Bagley composed the score during a 1902 train tour with his family band, Wheeler's Band of Bellows Falls, Vermont. He became frustrated with the ending and tossed the composition in the trash. Got rid of it. Members of the band, though, retrieved the score from the trash and secretly rehearsed the score in the baggage car. Bagley was surprised when the band informed him minutes before the next concert that they would perform it at that concert. It became the most famous of all of Bagley's marches. Despite this, the composition did not make Bagley wealthy. He sold the copyright for $25. Here is E.E. Bagley's National Anthem.
Depends what you're using.
That's one of the few things written before the 1960s. Now we're back to a group. When did they write this? I think this may be the 1990s. Rock You Like a Hurricane, sort of apropos. Is a song by the German hard rock band Scorpions and is considered their signature song. It was written by Klaus Meine, Hermann Mirabel, Rudolf Schenker, and arranged and produced by Dieter Dierks. A few German names. The lyrics of Rock You Like a Hurricane also reference the title of the album of which it first originally appeared, Love at First Steam. Rock You Like a Hurricane reached number 25 in the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, greatly contributing to the album's success. And MTV, those of you that are my age remember MTV. I had kids coming into my class when I was first started teaching and say, "Oh, look at MTV." But MTV put the video in heavy rotation. Here's Jordan Johnson. Wave, Jordan. Jordan Johnson arrangement of Rock You Like a Hurricane. Okay, I'm going to read off the script. Next, The Lion Sleeps Tonight is a song originally written and first recorded in 1939 by Solomon Linda under the title Ojibwe. The Zulu word for lion through South African Bellow. In 1961, a version adapted into English by the doo-wop group The Tokens became a #1 hit in the United States. It earned millions in royalties from cover versions and film licensing. We hope you enjoy our version of The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
I don't want to put the band on. And this thing is in the shower.
Okay. MacArthur Park is a song written by American singer-songwriter Jimmy Webb and was recorded first in 1967 by the Irish actor and singer Richard Harris. Harris' version ranked at #2 on U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart. Webb won the 1960 Grammy Award for Best Arrangement with accompanying vocalists at the 11th Annual Grammy Awards. For most of you, Harris may be best remembered as Albus Dumbledore in the first two Harry Potter movies. If you saw the Harry Potter movies, Dumbledore in the first two movies was Richard Harris, the guy who recorded MacArthur Park in 1967. The inspiration for the song was his relationship and breakup with Susie Horton. MacArthur Park in Los Angeles was where the couple would occasionally meet for lunch and spend most of their enjoyable times together. At that time, in the middle of 1965, Horton worked for Acme Insurance whose offices were across the street from the park. When asked by an interviewer, Terry Gross, what was going through his mind when he wrote the song's lyrics, Reb replied that it was meant to be symbolic and referred to the end of a love affair. In an interview with Newsday in 2014, Webb explained, "Everything in the song was visible. There's nothing in it that was fabricated. The old men playing checkers by the trees, the cake that was left out in the rain, all of the things that are talked about in the song are actually things that I saw in MacArthur Park." And so it's a kind of musical collage of this whole love affair that kind of went down in MacArthur Park. Back then, I was kind of like an emotional machine. Like whatever was going on inside of me would bubble out of the piano and onto the paper. So let's take a stroll down the lane to MacArthur Park.
Let's set the window down.
dark. Isn't the wind supposed to die down around dark? Okay. Next one is our audience participation song. It's Your Time to Shine. YMCA is a song by the American disco group The Village People. It was written by Jacques Morali and singer Victor Willis and released in October 1978 by Casablanca Records as the only single from their third studio album, Cruise. So we used to cruise 12th Street in Oklahoma. The song remains popular and is played at many sporting events in the U.S. and Europe, with crowds joining in on the dance by spelling out the 4 letters of the song's title via arm movements. So let's practice that. We're going to do this. You are required. This is a test, okay? First, you have to do your Y. You're going to go like Y. Then you're going to go into an M. Then you're going to go into a C. Make sure you're facing the right way. If it looks like a C to you, then it's not a C. And then you've got to go up to an A. So then you do it in tempo. Y, M, C, A. Okay? So that's your thing. And if you want to start at the beginning when it goes da 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 da.
Extra points.
Hopefully you dance better than I do. So here is the Village People's YMCA. Okay, remember, no support. Right on the fly. Don't slow down. I almost forgot to turn around and look, but you passed the test. That was really good. Okay, now it's time for our favorite time of the concert. It's Children's March time! Hey kids, come on down! We invite all the kids to come forward and march with our honorary drum major around the park. At the conclusion of the march, all the children will get a special sweet surprise.
Grab the midget.
So great to see you kids. Now, he's going to tell you how you need to march
Changa.
while I tell the audience about this march. The U.S. Field Artillery March is a patriotic military march of the United States Army written in 1917 by John Philip Sousa. The refrain is the caissons go rolling along. This song inspired the official song of the U.S. Army. The
she's alright, she just has no
teeth. Rolling along.
Smile.
Okay, so kids, are we ready?
She has no teeth.
That's right.
She'll lick her to death.
Okay, so here is U.S. Field Artillery March.
Y'all ready? Okay, good. Okay.
Chihuahua I've ever seen. Quietest nervous.
She just doesn't like big groups, but if they come up to her one-on-one, she's fine.
She's actually been sweet.
She's 15 years old.
Okay, now while the kids are getting their candy, I'd like to remind you that Westwinds Brass Band is a 501c3 non-profit organization and relies solely on donations to take care of expenses such as music purchases, operating expenditures, and storage unit fees. None of the musicians or director are paid. This is a labor of love. we do these concerts to share our love of the music with you. So if you enjoyed the concert and are so inclined, we have a donation box right up here in front. If you don't carry cash or checks, feel free to go to our Facebook page, which is Westwinds Brass Band of Lubbock, where there is a pin post to direct you to PayPal, where you may use your credit or debit cards to donate. We appreciate your help in keeping the Westwinds Brass Band a vibrant and growing organization that will be entertaining Lubbock audiences for years to come. Make sure you follow and share our Facebook page so that we can continue to expand our families. Okay, everybody got candy? Are we happy? Candy is such a good thing. I'm glad they're going home with you. Don't Stop Believin' is a song by the American rock band Journey. Written by the band's vocalist Steve Perry, guitarist Neil Schon, and keyboardist Jonathan Cain. It is a mid-tempo rock anthem and power ballad. At the dawn of the 1980s, Journey was becoming one of the most successful rock acts of the era. In preparing for their album Escape, Journey rented a warehouse in Oakland, California, where they worked daily to complete arrangements and develop new ideas. Jonathan Cain, their new keyboardist, came up with the song's title and hook. It stemmed from something his father frequently told him when he was a struggling musician living in Los Angeles' Sunset Boulevard. Cain was unsuccessful and was ready to give up, and each time he would call home in despair, his father would tell him, "Hey dude, don't stop believing or you're done, dude." It just feels like it's Dad had to have off there. Don't stop believing or you're done, dude. We hope each of you always to remember to don't stop believing. I forgot to mention, this has a solo. I know I've missed some solos. I'm terrible about not. It's a special solo because when we were first rehearsing this spring, this is brand new, hot off the presses, hot off of my finale program, and in the middle of the rehearsal we were playing. There's a trumpet solo in it, and all of a sudden I hear this trumpet player squealing at the end of the solo, and I'm sitting here going, "That's cool. I need to write that in." And so he's going to play it like he did, hopefully better than he did the first time. So Kyle Riddell's going to be playing the really hot, high trumpet solo. He's going to do his best Maynard Ferguson imitation. So don't forget. So here is "Don't Stop Believing." Don't stop believing. I remember that. I was in college. Okay, America the Beautiful. It's time for the end of our concert. Sad. Another week down. Only 4 more concerts to go. 4 down, 4 more to go. So we still have concert next week. Next week is an evening of jazz. So you might want to show up if you like clicking your fingers to this time forward. It's a nice thing to do. So, but our final song is America the Beautiful. It's one of the most beloved and popular American patriotic songs. This arrangement was originally written for orchestra and then for concert band by Hollywood Bowl Symphony Orchestra conductor Carmen Dragon. Our arrangement for brass band was written by former Westwinds brass band member Richard Crowley. Thanks for being with us tonight. Join us next week. We have next week's on the 29th. Then we have a special concert on July 4th. That's Friday. It's not a Sunday. Friday, July 4th, 8 o'clock, right here in the park. We'll be playing patriotic songs. Wear your patriotic clothes. If you're a veteran, wear your identifying marks because we're going to honor veterans with our service medley. But that's on July 4th. Then we have a concert on July 6th, which is, kids, it's our Disney concert. And it's all Disney songs all night long on the 6th of July. And then finally is July 13th, our final concert of the year. And I've got it entitled Fond Farewell because unfortunately that is going to be my final concert as conductor of this group. I've been doing it for 8.5 years. I'm getting to the point, your body sort of tells you when it's time to stop something. And trying to hold this equipment and do all the things that physically my body just says, it's time to stop. That doesn't mean I'm not going to still be here. I still plan on waking up to the horns. I just won't be waving my arms, which is for the band, they're saying, yay, we can't follow them anyway. So on July 13th, it's going to be a fond farewell, and I'm going to pick my favorite songs that I've done over the past 8.5 years. It's been a wonderful 8.5 years. I started in January of 2017, and during that time, we had a pandemic. Trying to come back from a pandemic after you've been off for almost a year. Coming back out of the park for concerts. So it's been a wonderful 8.5 years, and I hope you show up for that last week. I hope my first trumpet, I know I've got 3 of my first trumpets going to be gone that week. So if you play first trumpet and want to come on the 13th, you'll be gone. So here is our final song, America the Beautiful. being here tonight on this nice breezy evening. Hopefully it'll be we haven't had a really hot week, so now we're bound to have a hot week next week, now that I said it. But hopefully it'll be nice like it's been the last few weeks. So thank you for being here. Come back next week. We're glad to see you. Thanks.